Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. If you think quarters are just another coin in your pocket change, think again. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but holds extraordinary value in the right conditions, the 1982 Washington quarter. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be surprised to learn just how much this seemingly simple quarter could be worth. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since it was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin features a portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, which reflects the symbol of American strength and freedom. This coin, which has seen numerous variations and designs over the decades, is often collected by numismatists and coin enthusiasts alike for its historical significance and beautiful design. Now, let's focus on the 1982 Washington quarter. You may wonder why this particular year is important in the world of coin collecting. In the case of the 1982 quarter, it's not about the design. It's about the circumstances surrounding its production and the rare, sometimes surprising, features that can make this coin worth a lot more than its face value of 25 cents. First, let's talk about the history and context of the 1982 Washington quarter. The early 1980s were a transitional period for U.S. currency. The country was still recovering from the economic challenges of the 1970s, including high inflation and the oil crisis. By 1982, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of quarters to meet the demands of everyday transactions. The design of the Washington quarter had remained unchanged for decades, but the composition of the coin was undergoing a subtle shift. Up until 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, which made them relatively valuable compared to today's quarters, which are made from a mixture of copper and nickel. The change in metal composition came in the mid-1960s, when the rising cost of silver made it unfeasible for the mint to continue producing silver coins. By 1982, the Washington quarter was fully composed of copper-nickel clad, which became the standard for all circulating U.S. coins. The 1982 Washington quarter wasn't necessarily minted during an era of major changes, but it's still important to understand the specific qualities that could make it special in the world of coin collecting. So, let's break it down into the aspects that collectors care most about: rarity, condition, and minting errors. Let's start with rarity. It's important to understand that the 1982 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities, both in Philadelphia and Denver. As with most circulating coins, the 1982 quarter was produced in the billions, so in terms of sheer numbers, it's not especially rare. However, as time goes on, the availability of well-preserved examples becomes rarer and rarer. Most of the 1982 quarters that have been in circulation for decades have suffered from wear and tear, losing their luster and sharp details. So, finding a 1982 Washington quarter in pristine condition is not easy. This is where value starts to come into play. In the world of numismatics, coin condition is everything. The higher the grade of a coin, the more valuable it is. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no imperfections. A 1982 Washington quarter in uncirculated, mint condition can command far more than its face value. But the real treasure hunters are looking for coins that stand out because of rare minting errors. Minting errors are what make coins like the 1982 Washington quarter so interesting and valuable. These errors occur when the dies or the minting process goes wrong, leading to unusual or unique features on the coin. One of the most sought-after errors in quarters is the double die variety. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned or malfunctions, causing the design to be struck multiple times, creating a doubled image. This can be particularly noticeable on the date or lettering of the coin. Another error that collectors keep their eyes peeled for is a clash die error. This happens when two dies come into contact with each other during the minting process, leaving faint impressions of the other die's design on the coin. These types of errors can be subtle, but when identified, they make the coin even more valuable to collectors. Even smaller, less obvious errors can make a 1982 Washington quarter worth much more than you might expect. For example, some coins feature slight metal inconsistencies or off-center strikes that give the quarter a unique appearance. These are rare and desirable characteristics, especially for collectors who specialize in unusual varieties. Now that we've talked about rarity, condition, and errors, let's shift gears and talk about the value of a 1982 Washington quarter. Most 1982 quarters in circulated condition are worth only a small premium above face value. However, when you find a well-preserved specimen with no signs of wear, or a quarter that features a rare minting error, the value can skyrocket. Even a minor minting error on a coin in great condition can lead to a significant increase in its value. In fact, if you happen to find a 1982 Washington quarter with a notable error, such as a doubled die or a clashed die, or one in pristine uncirculated condition, it could potentially be worth an incredible amount of money, up to $90,000. Yes, you read that right, $90,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible to think that a coin with such a low face value could command such a high price in the right conditions, but that's the magic of rare coins and minting errors in the world of numismatics. Now, you might be wondering how to spot these valuable quarters in your own collection or spare change. The first step is to closely examine the coins you have. Look for any signs of minting errors, such as doubled lettering or unusual marks. Also, pay attention to the condition of the coin. Even if there isn't a minting error, a 1982 Washington quarter in excellent, uncirculated condition can still be worth more than you might think. Whether you're just getting started in coin collecting or you're an experienced numismatist, the 1982 Washington quarter is definitely one to keep an eye out for. The combination of rarity, minting errors, and the potential for high value makes this coin an exciting addition to any collection. So, if you happen to come across a 1982 quarter, take the time to inspect it carefully. You never know what you might have in your hands. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic: the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1979. This coin might seem like just another piece of currency from the late 20th century, but it holds a unique place in the world of rare coins and could be worth far more than you think. The Washington quarter, which has been a staple in American coinage since its introduction in 1932, honors the first President of the United States, George Washington. Over the decades, this coin has gone through many different designs and changes. The design of the Washington quarter on the obverse, showing Washington's profile, and the reverse, featuring the majestic eagle, has been remarkably consistent. However, not all quarters are created equal, and the 1979 Washington quarter holds a special place in the hearts of collectors for a few reasons that you're going to want to hear. The 1979 Washington quarter is part of the well-known series of coins minted in the late 1970s, during a period of economic change and shift in the United States. The U.S. was facing a major inflation problem, and the government was working hard to stabilize the economy after the turbulent 1970s. The coin itself is made of copper-nickel clad, a composition that had been used for many years by the time the 1979 quarter was released. However, despite the coin's mass production, it still holds great potential for value. What makes the 1979 Washington quarter particularly valuable is the mix of rarity, condition, and sometimes unique features that can make a single coin stand out from the thousands of others minted in the same year. For starters, the coin was produced in significant numbers, so finding a standard 1979 quarter in circulation today isn't terribly difficult. However, the magic happens when you start looking at the condition of the coin and whether or not it contains rare features that can make it exceptionally valuable. One of the most important factors that contribute to the value of a coin is its condition. Coins are graded based on their appearance, with the highest grade being mint state or MS, meaning the coin was never in circulation and has no signs of wear. These coins are typically the most valuable because they remain in their pristine condition, and collectors place great importance on finding coins that look as close to the day they were minted as possible. So, if you happen to find a 1979 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, you might be holding a coin worth a significant sum, but condition is only one part of the story. The other key factor that makes the 1979 Washington quarter highly desirable is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin's production, resulting in a flaw that makes the coin different from the intended design. These errors can range from minor discrepancies to major mistakes, and they can dramatically increase the value of the coin. Some of the most common minting errors that collectors look for in quarters are double strikes, die cracks, off-center strikes, and clashing dies. A double strike, for instance, happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing part of the design to appear doubled. A die crack is when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, which then transfers onto the coin, creating a raised line that wasn't meant to be there. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a coin with part of the design missing or cut off. Clashing dies happen when two dies come into contact with each other, causing the design from one die to be transferred onto the opposite side of the coin. All of these errors can make a 1979 Washington quarter much more valuable. For collectors who specialize in error coins, a Washington quarter from 1979 with a unique minting flaw is a prize. These rare examples stand out from the hundreds of thousands of other quarters from the same year, and they are highly sought after in the numismatic world. If you're lucky enough to find a 1979 quarter with a noticeable minting error, you could have a coin that's worth much more than just its face value. Another factor that can influence the value of a 1979 Washington quarter is its mintage location. The United States Mint has several different facilities that produce coins, including the Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint. Each mint uses a distinct mint mark to identify where the coin was produced. The mint mark is usually found on the reverse side of the coin, below the eagle's tail. For the 1979 Washington quarter, the most common mint marks you'll find are the D for Denver and the P for Philadelphia. The mint mark can influence the rarity of the coin, with some collectors specifically searching for quarters from certain mints or years with particular marks. So, what's the potential value of the 1979 Washington quarter, especially if you find one in excellent condition or with an error? Well, most 1979 quarters you come across are worth only a little more than face value if they've been in circulation and show signs of wear. But as we've mentioned, the value can skyrocket if you find one in mint condition or with a unique error. For example, a 1979 Washington quarter that is perfectly preserved, with no scratches, nicks, or signs of wear, could be worth a substantial amount. But a 1979 quarter with a rare minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, could be worth a lot more. The value of a 1979 Washington quarter with such unique features has been known to climb to amazing heights. The right coin, in the right condition, could be worth as much as $80,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $80,000 for a single coin. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a quarter could have such a high price tag, but that's the beauty of rare coins. When a coin is in high demand or has a feature that sets it apart from others, its value can be exponentially higher than its face value. So, next time you find a 1979 Washington quarter in your pocket change or while going through your coin collection, take a closer look. If it's in great condition or has a minting error, you could be holding a rare treasure that could be worth far more than just 25 cents. As with all rare coins, the key is knowing what to look for and being patient as you hunt for those valuable finds. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that might look just like another ordinary quarter, but trust me, there's much more to it than meets the eye. We're talking about the United States Washington quarter from 1988, a coin that, while seemingly common, has some intriguing characteristics that make it a standout piece in the world of numismatics. This is the kind of coin that might be hiding in your collection, in your change jar, or even in your wallet right now, waiting to be discovered. The Washington quarter dollar was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and it's been a key part of American coinage ever since. The coin's design, which features the profile of Washington on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, has become iconic. It's a design that has withstood the test of time, with only slight changes made to its appearance over the decades. But while the Washington quarter might be a familiar sight to most Americans, certain years, like 1988, holds secrets that could make these quarters worth a lot more than just a quarter. Now, you might be asking yourself, what makes a 1988 Washington quarter so special? Well, like many coins, it's the combination of factors like rarity, minting errors, and condition that truly determine its value. For the 1988 Washington quarter, we're looking at a coin that's relatively plentiful, but not all 1988 quarters are created equal. Many of these quarters were produced in large numbers and saw extensive circulation, which means most of them show heavy signs of wear and tear. However, there are some hidden gems that still exist, and if you know what to look for, you could be holding a coin worth a lot more than face value. The 1988 Washington quarter was minted in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Both facilities produced millions of these quarters, but some of the coins from these mints are much rarer than others. The mint mark is an important feature to pay attention to when evaluating the value of a coin. If you look closely at the reverse side of the coin, right below the eagle, you will find a small letter, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. While most of the 1988 Washington quarters were minted in Denver, quarters from the Philadelphia Mint can be a little more difficult to find, especially in pristine condition. The real value of these coins comes when you look at their condition. A coin that has been circulating for years will naturally show some signs of wear, which can lower its value. But for collectors, a 1988 Washington quarter in mint condition, free from scratches, nicks, and discoloration, could fetch a premium price. It's all about how well the coin has been preserved over the years. If the coin is well preserved and in near-perfect condition, it could be considered uncirculated, which is a grade that greatly increases the coin's value. But what really makes this particular coin stand out is the possibility of mint errors. Mint errors are, as you might have guessed, mistakes that occurred during the production process. These errors can vary from minor flaws to more dramatic ones, and they are highly sought after by collectors. The 1988 Washington quarter is no exception when it comes to mint errors. Some of the most common minting errors that can occur with these quarters include double strikes, die cracks, off-center strikes, and even repunched mint marks. A double strike, for instance, happens when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, resulting in a coin with overlapping designs. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, which leaves a noticeable mark on the coin's surface. Off-center strikes happen when the coin isn't properly aligned, causing part of the design to be cut off. Repunched mint marks are another error where the mint mark is struck more than once, often creating a blurry or duplicated mark. For collectors, mint errors can be incredibly exciting. They are the coins that stand out from the others, the ones that make a collection even more special. If you happen to come across a 1988 Washington quarter with any of these mint errors, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than its standard issue. Coins with minting errors are often highly prized and can sell for a premium on the market. In fact, some mint error coins can be worth thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. But it's not just the errors or the mint marks that make the 1988 Washington quarter interesting. The coin itself holds historical significance. 1988 was an important year in American history, marking the tail end of the Reagan administration, with political shifts happening across the globe. At that time, the United States was coming off the heels of an economic boom, and people were still feeling the effects of the 1980s strong growth. The value of coins, especially those like the Washington quarter, was heavily tied to the country's economic stability and the currency's ability to maintain its value. As time has passed, the 1988 Washington quarter has grown more rare, especially those that have remained in excellent condition. Many quarters from this year were used in everyday transactions and passed through countless hands, which means they are often worn down and not in mint condition. The rarity of finding a 1988 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition makes it all the more desirable to collectors. Some collectors are specifically hunting for coins from this era, as they can be a nice addition to any collection that focuses on Washington quarters or even U.S. coinage from the late 20th century. So, how much can a 1988 Washington quarter be worth? Well, if you find one in mint condition or with a mint error, the value of this coin can skyrocket. While most regular 1988 Washington quarters are worth just a little more than face value, the rare and pristine examples can fetch a remarkable price. A 1988 quarter with a significant minting error or one that has been kept in excellent condition can be worth as much as $70,000. Yes, $70,000 for a single quarter. It's mind-boggling to think that something as small and commonplace as a quarter could be worth such a large sum of money. But that's the power of rare coins and the demand from collectors who are always on the lookout for the next great find. If you have a 1988 Washington quarter in your possession, it might be time to take a closer look. It could be the valuable piece you've been waiting for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, understanding the factors that influence a coin's value is essential. Condition, minting errors, and rarity all play significant roles in determining how much a coin is worth, and with the 1988 Washington quarter, these factors can mean the difference between a quarter worth 25 cents and one worth thousands of dollars. Today, we are diving into a fascinating subject that might just have you rummaging through your coin collection or change jar. We're talking about the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1973, a coin that may seem like any other quarter to the casual observer. But don't be fooled. There's far more to this particular quarter than meets the eye. In fact, this coin could be hiding a fortune in plain sight. The Washington quarter, introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, has seen a lot of changes over the years. From the early versions made of silver to the later clad varieties, this quarter has gone through various stages of design and production. The coin's obverse features a classic portrait of Washington, and the reverse showcases an eagle, symbolizing the strength and power of the United States. While this design is instantly recognizable and has been in circulation for decades, the 1973 Washington quarter carries with it some unique characteristics that could make it worth far more than its face value. Now, let's rewind to 1973 and set the stage. The world was in the midst of significant political and economic shifts. The Vietnam War was coming to an end, and America was dealing with the social and political fallout of the 1960s. On the economic front, inflation was rising, and the oil crisis was starting to take shape. In such a climate, coins like the 1973 Washington quarter were made to be durable and practical, coins that could endure years of use in daily transactions. But despite being mass-produced and widely circulated, these coins weren't necessarily made with the intention of being rare collectibles. However, time has a funny way of changing things, and the 1973 quarter is one of those coins that has gained attention for its potential value. One of the key factors that contribute to the value of the 1973 Washington quarter is its condition. Like most coins, the state of preservation is incredibly important when determining a coin's worth. Most of the 1973 quarters that are still in circulation have been worn down by years of handling, which decreases their value. These coins may show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections. But if you happen to find a 1973 Washington quarter that has been carefully preserved, that's where the magic happens. Coins that have been kept in mint condition, free from scratches, dings, and discoloration, are much rarer and significantly more valuable to collectors. So what makes the 1973 Washington quarter so special when it's in excellent condition? The answer lies in the rarity of well-preserved examples. The 1973 quarter was produced in large numbers, which means they were used extensively and are now relatively common in circulated form. However, over the years, many of these quarters have been lost, damaged, or discarded. A 1973 quarter in uncirculated, mint condition is considered a rare find and can command a premium price on the market. For collectors, this makes it highly desirable. The rarity of an uncirculated 1973 Washington quarter, combined with its excellent condition, sets it apart from other coins and gives it a higher value. Of course, condition isn't the only factor that influences a coin's value. The mint mark plays a crucial role as well. For the 1973 Washington quarter, there were two primary mints that produced these coins, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. If you look at the reverse side of the quarter, just below the eagle, you'll notice a small letter that designates the minting facility, D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. Generally speaking, quarters minted in Philadelphia tend to be a bit rarer than those from Denver, which means they can sometimes be worth a little more. However, this difference isn't always significant unless the coin is in pristine condition or has some other unique characteristic. Minting errors also play a significant role in determining the value of a coin. Errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and they can vary from minor to more severe flaws. For the 1973 Washington quarter, some of the most sought-after mint errors include double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and even repunched mint marks. A double strike happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to overlap in strange ways. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is misaligned during the striking process, resulting in part of the design being cut off. Die cracks appear when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, and this crack is transferred onto the coin. Repunched mint marks are errors where the mint mark is struck multiple times, causing the mark to appear blurry or duplicated. Mint errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin, especially if the error is rare or particularly noticeable. Collectors are always on the lookout for these types of coins, as they add a unique element to any collection. If you happen to find a 1973 Washington quarter with a mint error, it could be worth much more than a standard issue coin. In fact, some error coins can fetch tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity and severity of the flaw. It's also important to note that the value of a 1973 Washington quarter is influenced by the broader market for coins. The world of coin collecting is dynamic, and the prices of coins can fluctuate based on demand, trends, and the state of the economy. A particular coin may experience a surge in value if it becomes more sought after by collectors, or if it's featured in a major auction or exhibition. Conversely, the value of a coin may decrease if interest in it wanes or if more coins become available on the market. This is why it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the market and stay informed about the latest trends in the world of numismatics. So, you might be wondering, how much could a 1973 Washington quarter be worth? Well, for the average 1973 quarter in circulated condition, you're looking at a value that's close to face value, just a quarter. But for a 1973 Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one with a mint error or rare characteristic, the value can increase dramatically. Some 1973 Washington quarters with mint errors or in near-perfect condition have sold for as much as $60,000. Yes, you read that right, $60,000 for a single quarter. Imagine stumbling upon a quarter in your collection or change jar and realizing that it could be worth that much. It's incredible to think that such a small and seemingly ordinary coin could hold so much value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. It's about discovering hidden treasures, learning about the history behind each piece, and, sometimes, striking gold, literally. So, if you have a 1973 Washington quarter sitting around, it might be time to pull it out and give it a closer look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, don't underestimate the value of well-preserved coins, especially those that are older and in great condition. Remember, with the right mint mark, condition, and perhaps even a minting error, your 1973 Washington quarter could be worth $60,000 or more. Keep your eyes peeled, and happy hunting. Today, we're going to explore a coin that may look like just another quarter in your pocket, but believe me, it has a fascinating history and a surprising potential to be worth a lot more than its face value. Today, we're diving deep into the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1981. You may be thinking, a 1981 quarter? That's nothing special, but you might be very wrong. By the end of this video, you'll see why this coin has captured the attention of collectors and could be worth an impressive amount of money. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, and over the years, it's become a staple of U.S. coinage. The design, which features the first president of the United States, George Washington, on the obverse, and an eagle on the reverse, has remained relatively unchanged for decades. However, while the design stayed the same, the era in which each quarter was minted can drastically impact its value. And the 1981 Washington quarter is no exception. So, why should you care about a coin from 1981? What makes this particular year stand out? Well, that's exactly what we're about to dive into. Let's first look at the context of 1981. It was a year of significant change in the United States, both politically and economically. Ronald Reagan had just been elected president, ushering in a new era of political and economic policies. On the economic front, the U.S. was dealing with high inflation rates, and the country was recovering from the aftermath of the 1970s energy crisis. For coin collectors, however, 1981 was also marked by some important changes in how the U.S. Mint was operating. By 1981, most U.S. coins had transitioned away from silver and were now made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change had taken place earlier in the 1960s with the quarter, as the U.S. government phased out the use of silver in the production of coins due to rising costs. This shift made coins like the 1981 Washington quarter less valuable in terms of their intrinsic metal content, but that doesn't mean they're not valuable in terms of their rarity and condition. The 1981 Washington quarter was produced in large numbers, making it relatively common in circulated form. These coins were mass-produced for everyday transactions and have since been widely circulated, meaning most examples you come across today will likely show signs of wear and tear. This is where the first key factor comes into play: condition. If you have a 1981 Washington quarter that has been kept in excellent condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections, then congratulations, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. The value of a coin depends heavily on its condition. A 1981 Washington quarter in uncirculated or near mint condition is significantly more valuable than a coin that has been heavily circulated. The reason for this is simple: the fewer the coins that are in mint or uncirculated condition, the rarer they become over time. Coins that are in excellent condition tend to be sought after by collectors, and as the years go by, the number of these well-preserved coins only gets smaller. So, if you have a 1981 Washington quarter that's free from damage and retains sharp details, it's definitely worth holding onto, but it doesn't end there. There are other factors to consider when assessing the value of your 1981 quarter. One of those factors is the mint mark. The U.S. Mint has several different locations where coins are struck, and each location places a small mint mark on the coin to indicate where it was made. For the 1981 Washington quarter, coins were minted at both the Philadelphia Mint, which has no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which has a D mint mark. These two mint marks can affect the coin's rarity and, in turn, its value. Generally speaking, coins produced at the Denver Mint are more common than those made at the Philadelphia Mint, which can make the Philadelphia versions slightly more desirable to collectors. However, the difference in value is typically small unless the coin has other unique features. Speaking of unique features, let's talk about the possibility of mint errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process, and they can significantly increase the value of a coin. A minting error could be something like a double strike, where the coin is struck more than once, creating an overlapping design. Another common error is an off-center strike, which occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a misaligned design. You might also encounter coins with die cracks, where the dies used to stamp the coin become damaged, leaving visible cracks on the surface of the coin. These errors are rare, and collectors often prize them because they represent a unique piece of history in the world of coinage. For the 1981 Washington quarter, mint errors are something collectors keep an eye out for. If you happen to come across a 1981 quarter with a notable minting error, it could be worth significantly more than a standard coin in excellent condition. In some cases, these error coins can sell for thousands of dollars, depending on the type and rarity of the error. So, it's always a good idea to closely inspect your coins and see if there are any imperfections or unusual features that might indicate a minting error. As with any coin, the value of a 1981 Washington quarter can fluctuate depending on market demand. The world of coin collecting is dynamic, and values can rise or fall based on trends, the state of the economy, and collector interest. However, one thing is certain: if you have a 1981 Washington quarter in pristine condition, or better yet, a coin with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a significant financial gain. Now, let's get to the exciting part: the potential worth of your 1981 Washington quarter. If you're lucky enough to possess a coin that is in uncirculated condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, you could be looking at a coin worth more than a few dollars. But if you have a quarter with a rare mint error, or if it's one of the very few uncirculated specimens in existence, you could be sitting on a small fortune. And here's the big reveal: a 1981 Washington quarter in top condition or with a mint error could be worth as much as $100,000. That's right, $100,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible to think that a coin that was once worth just 25 cents could now command such a high price. So, if you have a 1981 Washington quarter, it's time to take a closer look. Inspect it carefully for any signs of minting errors, check its condition, and see if you have a rare and valuable coin on your hands. You never know, it might be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all things coin collecting. Happy hunting, and who knows? You might just discover your very own hidden treasure.